the Sportz Nutz.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sportz Nutz. Yes, this is episode 117. We're rolling right along on the episodes. Can't wait to have everybody tuning in tonight. It's going to be a really good episode. Before we go, though, my man, literally, gosh, dadgummit, Brandon, you do this every
wrong. No. That was right. That
was?
Okay. Yeah, you had it right. You had it right. There you go.
Number 44. Matt Thomas, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just and for those out there, this is not a Big Beasley jersey. I'm just celebrating Rick Mahorn. For those who know.
Oh, okay. My man sitting right below me. Shane Owen, man, how are you doing, sir?
Man, doing good. A storm came through earlier. Had to fix a tomato plant, got broke. But pretty soon we're going to be eating some pretty vine-ripe tomatoes from up here in the mountains of North Carolina. And, man, ready to get into it with a special guest tonight, man. Very, very excited and looking forward to this episode.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited. You know, I'm a diehard hockey fan. Our man sitting catty corner to me. Whatever, Brandon, you can't point. Hank Russell, man, how you doing, sir?
Well, let's see. I just got out the gym. I smell like two trash cans getting in a fist fight, and the baby powder has worn off. But other,
uh-oh.
that smell must really be bad.
Something more off.
Something more off. I don't know. Hey, we'll get back in a minute. I don't know where he went, but yeah, we'll get back in a minute. Yeah. Guys, we have a very special guest lined up there. Zank, he's back into it again. He's in, I don't know. Dude, what happened? You were talking and like you got kicked off. Oh. Something's going on. I don't know. That's weird. But guys, we have a really special guest. He is the general manager of your new ECHL franchise in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Can't wait to talk to him about that, about everything going on with hockey, especially right now with the NHL draft going, which I know he's probably watching. We'll talk to him about that. Guys, the NBA draft has come and it has gone. Is there any surprises? Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that one. Ace Bailey's reaction by far is the most classic reaction I have ever seen. Something's going on with Hank. I don't know. But guys, it's going to be interesting to talk a little bit about that one as well. And then obviously, by the way, this kind of leads more into the Dallas Mavericks. Everything maybe could it really be like scripted? Because if you guys didn't notice this, the Cooper Flag jersey was already announced. So we'll talk a little bit about that one. And then obviously the NHL is voting to add 2 more games to their season. We'll talk a little bit about how many games it would be and just if this could be indicative of what is to come in the future. Guys, we didn't get to talk about this, but I want to hear your NFC playoff positions and your AFC playoff predictions. Talk much, Brandon? And then Matt's going to talk to us about the Sportz Nutz Fantasy Football League. God, I cannot wait to hear this. I'm excited about it. Shane and I just completed episode 1 of Training Days with the Sportz Nutz. And so he's going to talk about episode 2 and what to come about. And then we have you, the most enjoyable, interactive crowd there is. We do have a friend, John of the Pitch Grid, will come in and talk real quickly what has been transpiring with FIFA Club World Cup. Also, there's some breaking news that could be some scandalous type information with regards to soccer. Yeah, we'll talk about that one. So can't wait. We have a full loaded show for you guys. Before we get going, let's go ahead and bring our guest, Jared, man. How are you doing, sir?
How's it going, guys?
Good, man. Thank you so much for coming on. We are beyond like elated to have you on. And I know I saw quickly as you had the camera shining towards TV. You are watching the NHL draft. Is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't catch the first pick before it got announced. I was doing some stuff at the office, but I got here to catch the second pick. So,
do you know the situation with Matthew Schaefer? His mom passed away from breast cancer, and what was really cool with the Islanders is they put the breast cancer symbol on his jersey, and he kissed it, and he was crying. And you know they're doing this thing now where you can talk to the team that drafts you, and oh man, that was just an emotional. My wife got a little emotional. Like that was really cool that she is being honored by them. So shout out to the New York Islanders. Not my team. My team is obviously the Tampa Bay Lightning. But yeah, you know, I'm just excited that we're getting to see the draft here, man. But how are you doing, by the way? Like, I mean, obviously you've got like a whirlwind of everything going on, you know, and I know this is a really exciting time especially for hockey, and with Rio Rancho, with the fans, everything. What is like the vibe right now, though, around the whole state of New Mexico in general?
Yeah, it's been incredible so far. I don't think really anybody knew what to expect when it came to our ownership group, me, my bosses, anything like that. But yeah, the interest has been incredible so far. We had our team name submission open from the time the team was announced on May 2nd until about a week or so ago, and we had about 2,300 submissions on there for team names. Anything you could possibly think of was submitted. So that's been really good. And then obviously last Friday we opened up the voting for the final 3 names. Last I checked, yesterday or the day before, we were at like 3,300 votes already. So everybody wants their say in the team name, and then got an update from the arena today that we're at 430 season ticket deposits already, which is incredible. That's outpacing a lot of the recent ECHL teams, the expansion teams that have come in the last couple of years. So it's been really good. I think, obviously Rio Rancho is a suburb of Albuquerque. Albuquerque's got a really good sports scene. They've got the Isotopes, which is the AAA team for the Rockies, and then they have New Mexico United, who's in USL Championship. The New Mexico United games are incredible, like 10,000 plus people. It's what you'd think a soccer game is. I mean, people chanting and banging on the drums at all times. Really cool. And then the Isotopes do a good job too. And then we obviously have the New Mexico Lobos here as well. So it's been really good. Like I said, I don't think anybody knew what to expect on our end, but couldn't be happier right now with how it's been going. So
Shane, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, kind of in researching for tonight, man, I see that you went to school up here in Appalachia. I'm up here in Western North Carolina mountains, and I saw that you went to UT.
Yep.
You've had a couple other stops before you got to New Mexico, but man, can you kind of give us a little bit of backstory and a journey on how you went kind of from the mountains all the way to the desert?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. I was born and raised there, lived there basically my whole life, and was a huge athlete growing up. Soccer and hockey actually were my 2 big sports that I played basically nonstop from young age through high school. And then when I started college, I went to a small private school called Tennessee Westlands in Athens, Tennessee. I played on the soccer team there for 2 years, and actually started college wanting to be in sports medicine. So physical training, or physical therapy, athletic training, anything along those lines. Realized pretty quickly that I had zero interest in that, actually. Just was not interested in it at all. So made the switch over to sport management. And then my first experience in sports was with the SPHL team in Knoxville. So I did 3 years as an intern there. 1 was unpaid, 2 were paid, and then 2 years full-time with that team. So worked my way up from unpaid intern to just being a sales guy, making 50 phone calls a day, trying to sell tickets and sponsorships and stuff, which is really hard in that market because Tennessee dominates everything. I mean, it doesn't matter if men's basketball is playing or women's soccer. Like, people go and watch the Vols play, no matter the sport. So, and then in 2020, COVID obviously hit, and just wrecked minor league sports really in general. But was the only employee that didn't leave during that season. So I went from just doing sales to doing all the back end stuff for tickets. Our social media guy was one of the guys that had left. So I self-taught myself all of the Adobe Creative Cloud stuff, was running our social media, and graphics, did merchandise, did game production, did everything that season because it was so screwed up. We only had that team was a 5,000 seat arena, but we were only allowed to have 1,500 people at the games that year. So just coming up with creative ways to generate revenue for that team in a really tough time, and doing whatever we could to make that season work. And then at the end of that year, got the chance to jump to another SPHL team in Huntsville, Alabama, and worked for them for the last 4 years. Was primarily over all the ticket sales, but helped out with the marketing side of things. Helped our corporate sales guy out, trading leads on stuff, and really ended up absolutely killing it there. We had an incredible team, and Huntsville is a insane fan base, not only for the hockey team, but they've got the Trash Pandas, which is the AA baseball team. They've got a soccer team. All the teams there do really good. And by the time I left, we had sold out 46 games in a row. So half of last season and all of this past season. So, and then, got the chance to start a team from scratch in the ECHL, which is the league above the SPHL, and it's been great so far.
I know the Trash Pandas all too well because they used to be called the Mobile Bay Bears. I'm actually from Mobile, Alabama, so I remember going to Hank Aaron Stadium in Mobile and actually watching the Bay Bears play with my grandpa. It was a great experience, and obviously this is, I'm a diehard hockey person, and Shane's, he's getting there. Hank is getting there too. Matt, definitely. He's definitely a Carolina Hurricane.
I love the Roanoke Express. I was only 30 minutes from down the road when I lived in Radford, just outside of Blacksburg. So, naturally I'm a Hokie fan at that. So,
this is an exciting time.
That and the Canes, the Canes do it for me too. So,
yeah, and it's an exciting time for hockey. Obviously, I know you don't know yet, and I talked to you the other day, and I asked you kind of what's leading in the pack, and you did say the Tarantula Hawks are doing good. That's I love that name. It's a fantastic name, by the way. I can hear you guys saying, "Let's go Hawks."
It's a state intake too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And then, can you kind of maybe let us know what the team colors might be?
Yeah. So we obviously have our temporary branding out right now, which is the business card sitting right next to me. The light blue,
Mountain Range,
a little bit of yellow.
Pretty.
So that's just our temporary branding, but we've gotten a lot of compliments on that color scheme so far. So definitely something to consider. Obviously we've looked at, like desert themed color schemes as well. Like, Arizona Coyotes were like red, black, and like a sand color. So I think it really depends on what the name ends up being. Like I don't know if you guys looked up a picture of what a tarantula hawk looks like, but it's like black, orange. Yeah, it's like black, orange, and like a lightish blue, which is obviously like a very, very unique color scheme. So, obviously if we go with that, it's probably something along those lines. The cutthroat trout they're like red and green, which actually kind of ties in pretty well. If you guys are food guys at all, New Mexico is known for their chilies. You can put chili on anything, and it's red or green chili. So like if you go you can go anywhere. Like I learned last week that you can get chilies on stuff at like McDonald's and stuff here. So that we kind of like that one as well, because like it's obvious we're not called the chilies, but it's the colors of what's the most popular food topping out here. So, and then goat heads, I mean, I think we can go a little bit everywhere with that. I mean, the actual thorn goat head type thing that's out here in the desert is like a greenish color, which I like because that's unique. A lot of teams don't have green, but we also are tying in the ibex goat, which is a wild goat that roams the mountain ranges here in New Mexico, and they're a color you'd expect a goat to be. So, yeah, I think we're kind of all over the place right now. Really just trying to, we don't want the fan contest to end because it's been really good for our engagement and building out our social media platforms and stuff. But I think everybody wants it to be over so we can finally have something that's our own.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Shane, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say next is jerseys. Now they're going to want to see the jerseys after everything's announced.
Yeah.
But I think you're kind of selling yourself short a little bit because looking up, like I said, in the research that I've done, man, you've been successful in many previous positions that you've been at. You not just in the 4 years that you were there at Huntsville, they set 4 years in a row attendance records, if I'm not mistaken. So what I kind of want to know is, as you mentioned, the social media going on with the team name and, kind of going along the colors like that. What kind of other options do you see yourself having out there? As you said, with Albuquerque being so close and the following that the Isotopes get, I know as being a baseball fan, because they come out with probably some of the best hats every year, in my opinion. But kind of what kind of things could we look forward to in you promoting and getting the fanfare, around Rio Rancho kind of involved?
Yeah, I mean, so our director of marketing hire is actually coming from Huntsville with me as well. So he started last week remote. He'll be out here officially next week. But he's a guru when it comes to the social media side of things. Not only knowing what to post and what's engaging, but building out graphics and taking pictures and videos and splicing all that kind of stuff together. Minor league sports teams really didn't take social media seriously until COVID, and then during COVID, you had to get really creative to build that engagement. So that's going to be absolutely for us. We put out a post the other day for people to invite us to their community events. That was a big part of our community outreach in Huntsville. Any and everything community events wise that we were invited to, we went to. So whether it was a parade, a school reading, neighborhood bash, whatever, we went. We took the mascots if they were available. We gave away stuff. So that's gonna be huge for us, especially once the brand is launched with the logo and everything, to have stuff to give away and to get our name and our logo and everything out there. And a big part too that a lot of teams don't put a lot of effort into is hiring staff that knows what's going on, that's that have good experience. And we've made 3 hires already, and I don't think we could have hired anybody better to join our team in the front office. So it's going to be incredible. And I think too, our ownership group is based out of Dallas. So they've been incredible so far in supporting us and giving us the tools we need to succeed. But we're also working with the Dallas Stars right now on a lot of different stuff. They're going to help us make our locker rooms NHL quality. That's a huge recruiting tool for us.
Is that going to be your NHL affiliate? Is the Dallas Stars, or is it going to be Utah?
It's kind of up in the air right now. Obviously, we don't start play until next fall of 2026. So there's a whole nother season to go, and a lot of affiliation agreements are said to be ending after this coming season. So I think we're going to have a pretty wide range of options. For us, I think we would really like someone regional, whether it be the Stars or the Avalanche or Utah. There's, from what I've heard, I haven't seen a ton of people wearing hockey gear out here, but from what I've heard, New Mexico is pretty rich with Denver sports, a lot of Denver fans out here. So I think the Avs would be great. I mean, their AHL team is right outside of Denver. So that's a quick, maybe not quick, but it's a 5 or 6 hour drive up the interstate to get up to Denver. So that would be great. I mean, I'd love for it to be the Stars. They've been incredible so far in helping us every step of the way on the hockey side of things. So they're going to assist us in the affiliation kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's pretty early to tell, but obviously we'll take whoever we can get, because us being NHL affiliated will be big for the brand as well. But we'd really, really like someone regional where, if people don't have a team right now that are our fans, and say we get Colorado or Utah or somebody like that that's close by that people can go watch, I think that'll be big for both sides of it.
Shane, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm a big baseball guy as it comes, and baseball's got one of the biggest minor league kind of systems. Other than hockey, like a lot of people don't realize, hockey spreads out a long ways, on their feeder systems and stuff like that. We see the press and everything, and like I said earlier, with the Isotopes hats and stuff like that, you see what they do to promote it. Like, do you see, as you said, regionally you've got these teams and stuff like that around? Do you see where this could be a big boost, especially you guys you're going with the fan vote on the team name, and the colors could be awesome, and do you see this being a great opportunity for the franchise?
Yeah, for sure. We haven't met directly with the Isotopes yet, but I did have lunch one of the first weeks I was out here with the president of New Mexico United, and I've been to 2 of their games so far. Like I said, they do an incredible job. But one thing that he told me that really stuck with me is, like, people from New Mexico love New Mexico. They love everything about it, whether it be the food, the ecosystem, the mountains, the wildlife, everything that is New Mexico, people that live here and are from here love. So that was a big thing for us, was, when it came down to narrowing the team names down, was picking something that had ties to New Mexico. Like, from the start, we, all agreed that we weren't going to do a boring or a basic name. So obviously you see that in the 3 finalists, but all 3 of those things have direct ties to not only this area but to New Mexico. So that's going to be huge for us. And another thing that New Mexico United really excels at is just their community outreach. I mean, I literally see their stuff everywhere, almost as much as I see Isotope stuff. So they've been great to work with so far, and would love to have a good relationship with all of them down the road, because that's beneficial for everybody. When we were in Huntsville, we worked right directly with the Trash Pandas. We had a Trash Pandas night every year at our game. They had a Havoc night every year at their game. We started working better together with the soccer team in Huntsville too. So, it's mutually beneficial for everybody, for everybody to support each other.
What was it like watching your first New Mexico sunset?
It is very pretty. I just don't like that the sun comes through these windows right here, and then when I'm laying on the couch, it absolutely bakes me from the inside. So, but yeah, the weather's great out here. I mean, a lot of people were like, "You're not going to like how hot it is," and I'm like, I'm from the South. Like, it's hot.
People don't realize the Southern is
hot and it's roasted.
Get roasted down here in the South.
Yeah,
at least you get a break in the shade.
Yeah. So, it's in the desert, so it's all dry heat. There's no humidity or anything. And it's really nice because, like, once the sun goes down, it's like cool in the evenings. So like 7 o'clock to like 10 o'clock, it's like in the 60s or 70s, even if it was 110 during the day. So I really have gotten used to it. And then me and our 2 staff that we've already hired, we're actually in Orlando this week at the ECHL league meetings. And obviously you guys know the heat wave that's going on right now. It was like, one day it was like 107 with like 90% humidity in Orlando. And we had to walk from like our room to like the conference center, and
Orlando
so it was
is
hot.
the
So I'm
hottest place in Florida.
yeah.
Orlando is the
So
hottest
true.
place in Florida.
That is so true.
But
I used
I'm
to live in
sorry,
St.
go
Pete, so yeah.
ahead.
So, all right, then I got to ask this next question. Obviously, we know it's coming. I mean, it's been well documented. The owners are going to meet in the next month or so about a possible expansions. We know the two cities that are highlighted are Atlanta and Houston. What does this say for the ECHL if the cities of Atlanta and Houston do get the NHL franchise, which is predicted that it's going to happen? But what does this mean for each ECHL? Could we see additional? I know we just saw Greensboro get the team. They start this fall. You guys start next fall. Could we see two more additional franchises come into the ECHL realm?
Yeah, I think 100%. I think so. I mean, I know that it's been a goal of theirs for the last couple of years to get to 32, which is what the NHL and the AHL are at right now. So I know that announcement's coming pretty soon for the 32nd ECHL team. But yeah, I think they want to keep up with the NHL and the AHL. It makes it a lot easier with the affiliations. Like right now there's a couple NHL teams that don't have ECHL affiliates just because there's not enough teams. So I know that's a big goal for the ECHL is to match along the way what the NHL does do. The AHL always expands as soon as the NHL does. Like that happened with when Seattle joined the league. They went. Seattle's owners went and started, their own team in Coachella Valley, California. So, yeah, I think that's definitely down the road. I know a big thing for the ECHL too is the Western expansion. If you look at the ECHL team map, probably 60-70% of the teams are like on the actual East Coast, whether it's Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, all the way to the Northeast. So I know growing the Western Conference and the Mountain Division is really big for them too. So
I'm excited about it. Matt, you have a question. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I do. First off, Jared, again, man, welcome to the show. We really appreciate having you on here with us. Can you kind of go over with us the process? I don't know if you guys already started this or not, but the process of looking for the right players to fit you guys' mold.
Yeah. Actually, signing players won't happen more till the spring when we have an affiliate and a coach. But I really saw it in Huntsville when I was there. We might not have always had the best players in the league, but we had the best guys. And that's really important in the minors because, these guys are going to schools and to community events and to hospitals and all that kind of stuff. If you got a bunch of dudes that, have too big of egos that don't want to do that, it makes it really hard, in Huntsville, the guys probably went to one or two community events every week during the season. And from my experience, we never had anybody that was like, screw that, I'm not going. They knew that was expected of them and they wanted to do it because they saw what the return was when the team, skated out on the ice and it was sold out every night because the community wanted to support them. So, I think that's a big thing. The pro hockey landscape's really changed since the Scorpions were here in the 90s and the 2000s, where back then it was all fights and brawls and stuff like that. So obviously you want a couple of those guys on your team. But, I think, New Mexico as a whole and everybody that supports us when we get started will really like the skill level that the ECHL brings. I mean, they've had 700 or 800 players playing the ECHL and then go and play in the NHL. So it's going to be an incredible product that we put put out on the ice. And, obviously we want to do well on the business side, but, I want to win too. So, we're going to put a really good team together for sure.
It's funny. You're from the South, that in this is year 6 in general. The state of Florida has owned the Kelly Cup or the Stanley Cup or both. Obviously, we didn't see for the first time in 6 years, we didn't see the state of Florida get into the Kelly Cup. We saw Montreal's ECHL team win it over Toledo, but we still are seeing Tampa. We're still seeing Sunrise, Florida. We see the South has really come about with the landscape of hockey. And, I follow a team, the new Biloxi team that just came back. They rebranded themselves. But, what does this say, though, about hockey as a whole? Because, hockey is a cult sport. And, if you are around it, you absolutely know the importance of it. It's something that just is bred differently in your brains. But, what does this say to you about hockey as a whole? Is hockey, going to be that sport that could overtake one of Big Brothers? That's baseball, basketball. I don't think it's going to do football, but baseball or basketball, something like that.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I grew up going to the Nashville Predators games. That was right down the road from us in Knoxville. And, when I was a kid, nobody went to those games. They weren't very good. They almost left Nashville a couple times. And then obviously you mentioned Atlanta getting, more than likely a team back. But yeah, I think I've always thought that hockey and college football were pretty comparable in terms of, just the action, the hits, the experience at the games. So, I think that was really the big thing that, the Predators, started excelling at was they got a good team. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals one year, and they really should have won that series against Pittsburgh. But I always tell people, especially out here, as I've met people, that have said, I've watched hockey on TV, and I don't really like it. It's like it's a whole different animal when you go in person. So yeah, I think hockey's it's exploding. All the NHL teams are finally on really stable grounds when it comes to the business side of things, and it's great to see the expansion, not only in the NHL but in all the leagues. A lot of the recent ECHL teams have been into markets that have never had hockey before. One that sticks out to me is the team in Savannah, Georgia. They never had hockey before and didn't really have a great history with minor league sports in general, with baseball and whatever else they had. But they've sold out every single game for 3 or 4 years now.
With the Ghost Pirates.
Yeah. And then the team that started last year in Lake Tahoe, that's a tougher market because it's a tourist market. There's not a lot of people that actually live there full time. But they did an incredible job for their first year too. And then obviously, Greensboro starting this year, and they haven't had a team in 15 to 20 years. So, the ECHL and the AHL have really done a good job at expanding into markets that are good sports markets, but they've never had hockey. And that's huge for growing the game. So,
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, Jared, I'm gonna kind of switch gears a little bit here. Can you kind of elaborate to everybody listening, kind of how your journey was, where you started from, how you got to where you're at right now at this particular moment?
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit when you got kicked off. So, but I'll give everybody a recap. Yeah. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. I went to University of Tennessee, graduated there in 2019. When I was in college, I started working with the Knoxville Ice Bears. Worked there for 5 years between unpaid intern, paid intern, and then full time. And then worked the last 4 years with the Huntsville Havoc, also in the SPHL, and really helped that brand explode. And we set an attendance record every year I was there for the SPHL. And then the last year and a half, we sold out every single game. So I've been a hockey guy through and through. I played growing up, so it's always been, my favorite sport to play and follow. I'd probably say my favorite sport in general is college football, but hockey's incredible. Like I said, you can't diss hockey until you go to a game live. And you got to go to a game live somewhere where like the crowd's going to be good and the team's good and whatnot. I've heard people that are like, oh, I went to like a junior hockey game and I didn't like it. And I'm like, well, yeah, go to an ECHL, AHL, or NHL game and report back, because it's a whole different experience.
Boy, is that ever true. We have the Greenville the Greenville Swamp Rabbits here, about the baseball team. We have the Greenville Swamp Rabbits here, and it's a lot of fun going to it. It is weird that an East Coast team is sponsored by a West Coast organization in the NHL, but hey, to each his own on that one. Jared, can you tell everybody real quick before I let you go, what is the next steps laid out for New Mexico's hockey team?
Yeah, we're wrapping up the fan vote next Friday. So we've already hired a company out to do the logo. They've done some recent ECHL teams logos. They do incredible work. So we know whatever name we go with is going to be really good. So we're going to wrap up that next Friday at 5:00. And then we won't actually announce the winner until we have the logo. So that'll probably be in September or October of this year. We're not going to rush the logo process at all. We're going to let those guys do what they do best and really draw that thing out and come up with a really cool and creative logo. And yeah, other than that, right now it's really just getting our name out there as much as possible, whether it be in the community, on the sponsorship side of things, and then just working on hiring out the rest of our staff. Like I said, we've got 3 hires right now that'll all be out in New Mexico on the ground in about a month. And then we'll be hiring out about 8 or 9 more. So we'll have 10 to 12 full-time staff by the fall. And then to go along with that, the brand announcement. And then we'll have a full year to launch this thing and get the wheels moving on it. So we're really excited. Like I said, the interest has been incredible so far, and they've New Mexico's definitely said that they're ready for pro hockey. So
I like that. I'm excited for it. You definitely have fans in us. They're going to cheer you guys on. We will definitely stay in touch with you because we want to, keep tabs on what's going on with it. But man, Jared, I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart you coming on and and taking time out of your Friday evening to spend time with us and talk to us about the hockey, because hockey is an exciting sport. My wife she can actually elaborate. She'll tell you the same thing that we are thinking through with hockey, and I cannot wait for everything to transpire with you guys. Jared, you have yourself a wonderful weekend. Give the best to everybody there, and please keep us up to date and let us know what the next steps will be when the name is announced. Sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, man. You take care of yourself.
Yeah,
see you guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
guys. What a fantastic guest to come on. I mean, like, just think about this for a second. Hockey, it really is. It's something different about hockey that just resonates more in your brain. And I mean, I love it. I have a lot of fun going to the games. I have a lot of fun watching them. My wife has actually got into them. So shout out to Cassie on that part. But guys, we have a lot to get to and so little time to get to it. First off, the NBA draft, it did take place. And I'm going to start with Matt on this one. Matt, obviously we knew kind of the gist of the number one. So we all knew Cooper Flag was absolutely going to go to Dallas. But what are your surprises that you saw in the draft, Matt, that you had no idea that was going to happen?
Oh man, where do I start here? First off, let's see, the whole Ace Bailey thing, man. I mean,
I'm so glad you
did
mentioned
he want to
that.
go to Utah? Did he not want to go to Utah? That's up for debate. We'll elaborate more on that in a little bit. But man, I had no problems with the first few picks, man. With the first few picks that happened in the draft. I want to say Cooper Flag. Everybody knew flag was going where he was going to go. We knew that. Dylan Harper, I was shocked the Spurs actually did end up going with Dylan Harper, even though he deserved to get drafted there. They already have De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle. The VJ Edgecombe, he went a little higher than I thought he was going to go, but great player. Wizards had Trey. I think they drafted Trey Johnson. He's going to be a good player for them. I think Jeremiah Fears went kind of early to the Pelicans. It was the draft was kind of the first 10 picks were kind of what people expected. Then trade started happening.
What do you think about the Atlanta Hawks?
I was just about to get into that. And one team fleeced another team. And I love it because it's Atlanta and New Orleans. Man, I love the fleecing, man. I love the fleecing that commenced.
Y'all got a good one in that pick.
Oh man, H. Noel was a lottery pick, projected lottery pick, man.
Exactly.
We ended up getting him. Me and Brandon were kind of talking through the first part of the draft, and I could hear the disgust in Brandon's text messages. He's like, "Oh," and this is before we made the pick.
And then I jinxed the whole pick, and I kept saying, Matt, he hasn't been selected yet. And then you go, no, Brandon, you're gonna jinx him. What happens?
Come on, Moolacho. I guess I can't remember. Can't say his last name. That's who we thought. But we ended up with H. Noel, who I think is I think he's gonna be pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Great pick. Great pick.
Yeah, especially at pick number 23. But the fact that we got New Orleans first round,
and it's
we can choose between New Orleans or Milwaukee. Whoever has the worst season, that's the pick that we're taking.
We rolled. And I sent you guys the picture today of who CBS and ESPN are, and it's almost literally everybody's projected as Atlanta to get will be either the number 1 or the number 2 pick.
But it depends. It depends because a healthy Zion, that team is a playoff team. A healthy Zion, New Orleans is a playoff team. I mean, regardless, they were a playoff team.
I'm with you on that one, man.
A healthy Zion, they are a playoff team, a dangerous team. It's just that he can't stay healthy for the year.
Has he stayed full healthy?
Not one.
Exactly.
So
breaking news: Zion Williamson chipped a tooth. He's out for the next 27 years.
Oh my God,
that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Come on. When Zion is playing, they are a playoff team and they are tough to beat.
Yes.
But when he is not playing, but they had a lot of injuries happening. But anyways, not to get off track here. That was the biggest surprise. The fact that the Hawks were able to get that additional first round pick unprotected for next year from a team that, if things go according to the way they've always been going, there's going to be a lottery team. So, that gives them a chance to get, AJ DeBanza. I said his last name.
We're just speculating. We can't wait. But what about you? Did you see these prizes?
I said hoping and wishing. But man, as far as me seeing the surprises, I didn't see the surprises because there were too many trades for me to keep up with.
Was that ever true? I mean, you literally look and there was a trade left and right. The whole second round, I feel like everybody in the entire second round got traded.
But what's confusing is that, and I'm sorry, Shane, I mean to cut you off. What's confusing is the fact that they don't mention the trade until 15 picks later. They go back and mention that trade that happened 10, 15 minutes ago. So that kind of throws everything off. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I text Brandon whenever Atlanta selected Queen. I was like, "Hey, great pick,"
and then he got traded.
And then he's traded. He's like, that's going somewhere else, right?
He was like, "No, really?" And I'm like, and then it popped up right away, and he's like, "Really?"
That's a great pick, man.
That was a good pick. I really wanted. I liked it.
Him and Porzingis. He was. Oh my God.
In my book, he was the number 1 true defensive big man. Defensive big man in the draft.
Yep.
And I mean, he deserved to be selected at the spot that he did, but I didn't know it was going to New Orleans at that point. So man, there were just way too many trades, in my opinion, for it to be, you've got to try to cover all this, plus highlight the players that are being selected at the same time. It can become a little ridiculous. That's why they make 4 rounds in the NFL draft last 2 days.
Yeah.
and in the first rounds, the one day the highlight players. But in that same sense, is we still saw Duke. They still had all 5 starters selected.
Yeah, that was actually a record. They said that I think it's like the first time and since like the 09 era that all 5 starters got selected in the NBA draft. That's insane.
Yeah,
and then did you guys also see that the first round had 18 freshmen, the second round had 0 freshmen, which is they said has never been done. That and that no freshmen were selected in the second round.
Oh, I got you one on the second round. What about Broom from Auburn?
Yes,
he got selected about his. Well, it's a steal the way he plays, but based on his measurables in the combine, like we look at those, like his vertical is trash.
Yep,
to say the least. But like, could we see him going to the 76ers, fitting in like an Embiid? And then I'll let y'all maybe dive in on that, but I want to give in my last like snub of the draft, Spears from Alabama.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised he went undrafted.
He is a true like 1 guard, 2
He's a true facilitator.
He could be 2 defensively if you need him to be, but he will be at a team and he will make some noise. He might even be better than Bronny.
Oh Lord. Y'all love like harp on Bronny James. Anyway, all right, let's talk to the next person. Matt, you highlighted this real quick actually. Ace Bailey, if you guys did not see his reaction, it was one of why. And the speculation was he wanted to go to Washington. There's been so many people that said that. However, here's how I feel about this. And Matt and Shane, I want to hear your thoughts on this one too. If you're getting selected, be happy. I mean, dude, come on. You're getting to live out a dream that not many people get the chance to live out. You're going to play professional basketball. Be happy where you go. Look, I understand you may not like Utah. I understand it. But be happy you got selected. Am I right, Matthew Thomas?
I mean, we're talking about. Look, I'm not one to disrespect, a place or anything like that, man. But Brandon, have you ever been to Utah before?
No, I have not. I've flown over. The only place I've been out west is the state of Hawaii. You know that.
Well, I've been to Utah before, and
it's Mormon country. I know that too.
Yeah, you can say that. But I mean, they're not. I mean, I look at it like this. Since Ace Bailey's going there, the city will love him. The city will love him, like they did Carmelo. They'll love him. All he has to do is just play his hardest, and not be playing just to get to your next contract and get out of there. Show the fans you want to be there, and you'll be okay. This dictating where you want to be drafted and stuff like that, man. Look, you're giving these kids with these NIL deals, you're giving these kids a false sense of entitlement, like they're in control of things when they're not. Danny Ainge was in control of that one. And he got his butt over there to Utah.
He's gonna do it no matter what.
Yeah, Danny Ainge gonna do what he wants to do, man, because Danny Ainge has a track record to do that. Danny Ainge has done things in the league that Ace Bailey has yet to do, like score a bucket. Man. So, at the end of the day, I think Ace will be good. He'll be good for the team. It'll be his team in a couple of seasons. And I think he's gonna end up being an all-star type player, Tracy McGrady type player. And yes, you can quote me on that one, Brandon.
Let's see. It is June 27th at 8:20 in the evening. I'm going to timestamp it.
Well, his game has T-Mac written all over it, man. I mean,
oh my God! As long as you don't sit there and say Bronny James, I'm okay with that, honestly.
Well, we're gonna see some leagues coming up next week. We're gonna see some leagues coming up next week, and he's already a year in. I see Bronny got a little bit more diesel. I see Bronny got a little bit more diesel. Look like he might have grown an inch too, man.
Where?
Hey, he's gonna come in better. It's like Lou Williams, man. When Lou Williams got drafted 40-something overall to the Sixers, his first year was just like Bronny's. Then the second year, he played a little more than the third year.
Please.
So, man. Hey, man, look, man. I think Ace will be okay, but yeah, the look on his face, you can tell those are one of the destinations. Well, he went to a place he didn't want to go to, but I think it'll end up working out for him in the long run.
What do you think, Shane?
Well, I mean, as we said, it was rumored through a source that top 5 team wanted to draft him, and he did not want to go to that top 5 team. Obviously, by the look on his face when he was drafted, it might have been that team. I'm not going to say anything. They did have the worst record in the league last year. uh, but this is also kind of, Donovan Mitchell didn't even work out with the Toronto Raptors during his draft process. And that, that was kind of a mute point because of the player that he was. You knew where he was going to be selected. They had an outside chance. But in that same sense, you had Evan Mobley, number 2 overall a few years ago. Didn't work out with the Cleveland Cavaliers because him and his agency didn't want to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Guess what? They still picked him. So this is kind of the song and dance. This is not, the NBA is not the only place that we've seen this. We've seen this with other positions in the NFL draft kind of things that you heard this past year, especially. So it's kind of one of those things that's coming along, and as Brandon mentioned, the NIL entitlement kind of deal. It's going to create a great product on the college field, and it's going to create a great product on the pro field too. But in the same sense, owners have control once you're an employee with their company. So you have to do right and stuff. So I think that we're going to see a little bit of a change in the structure of things, but I don't see the last of it yet.
I can see that, but like I said, just be happy that you got drafted. I mean, think about it. There's only 2 rounds. And I don't know if you guys remember, there used to be like 15 rounds in the NBA long ago, and now it's been condensed to 2. Be thankful that you got your name called, because there are so many athletes who will never have that moment, that shining glory moment that, hey, I got called to go, I was drafted professionally. Like, I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. So be happy you got selected, and just look, I understand you may not want to be there. There are places I don't want to go, but I still go just because, I'm not going to sit there and fuss about it like that, and make it so. I mean, it was so well known too. I mean, like literally his picture was like, and then of course, that Boyles guy from South Carolina got drafted by the Raptors, and he said a not so G-rated word we're not going to use.
Everybody loves him because of Casey Plum.
But hey, look, man. All this. The blame goes 100% to Eli Manning in 2004 in that draft.
Well, actually, it goes back further.
Yeah, but
remember John Elway. John Elway said he was not going to play if he got selected where he was originally going to be selected. Yeah, and he did, and then he got traded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Jim Kelly, the year after that, he went to the USFL instead of the NFL because of where he got drafted.
Yeah, that's right. So you really kind of go back and blame Troy Aikman for this whole, John Elway for the whole thing. So I mean, I understand, but again, though, folks, as I'm sitting here watching, by the way, the NHL draft has taken like umpteen hours to get the number 9 pick. That's ridiculous.
They only on number 9?
Yeah, they're only on number 9. Like this is absolutely drawing it out ridiculous amounts of time. But again, folks, just be happy that you got selected and go on from there. Look, guys, our good friend John is about to come on and talk to us about a scandalous situation going on in soccer. But before we get him on, I want to mention this as we're talking about the NHL. The NHL is actually voting, and it has been conditionally approved. They are adding 2 more games to their NHL season, which, by the way, folks, if you don't know, NHL mirrors the NBA with the amount of games. It's 82 games, 41 home, 41 away. Well, they have now extended it to 84 games. And so I'm going to go right to you on this one, Shane, because they can actually vote for more. It is stipulated in the new CBA that if they expand 2 more teams, they can expand up to 6 more games. So you could be talking about a 90-game season coming soon for the NHL. But Shane, what does this mean though for hockey to have 2 additional games added to their plate?
Well, the 2 additional games, I believe, comes with the possible 2-team expansion, like you mentioned. I look at it in a business mindset in this sense, is that the more product that you put out there, that you've put out there in the last 5 to 6 years, especially, it's great. The fanfare is great. You're over capacity a lot of nights when it comes to it. So why not cash in on it? I'm going to go ahead and put it out there that I think all professional leagues want to go to a 36 team kind of base schedule. And with that being said, there's still 2 more teams in the NHL to be added, correct? So could we see those teams be international teams like the NFL is talking about? I think that, you get to that 82, like the NFL, you get to a 18 game season. That's half of 36. So you can create matchups in that sense. So I think it's all kind of business minded, kind of grappling everything around it. But, the more product that people want to see, the more product you're forced to put out there on the ice, on the court, on the field, be it whatever. So, you saw the Savannah Bananas go from, a 40 game season in Gastonia when they first started. Now they're sold out in every arena almost every weekend all summer. And we're not talking about small arenas. We're talking about 80,000 plus. So
Yeah.
as long as the fans want to see it, I believe we're going to see the exponential growth of professional leagues, and with that growth of the professional leagues, we'll see growth of the minor leagues as well. So I think the future is bright for a lot of it, but only time will tell as well.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Time will tell everything. So we'll see. Guys, we have our good friend John at the Pitch Good podcast going to come on. He is going to talk. There's a scandalous situation taking place in soccer. And this actually could have ramifications worldwide. John, what is the scandalous situation going on, man? Like this is some crazy-ish that is going on, right?
So, well, there's a club in the EFL Championship called Sheffield Wednesday, and their owner he bought them from a few years ago. He's a Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean owner named Danieri Chansiri, and they just got a 3 transfer window embargo, which means they can't buy players or so they can't acquire any players until January of 2027. You want to know why? It's because Chansiri has not paid his players. Not only that, there is information that's come out today that he has not paid his staff, and that his staff has been notified as that June payments will not be available. And not only that, there's players that are leaving, and free agency stuff like that during the summer transfer window that's opening in a couple of days. So yeah, a lot's happening. And also they have a manager there who has kept them up by the bare skin of his teeth, and he's got jobs, and I don't know why he hasn't resigned yet.
Why has he not been paying his staff? I mean, like, that's a no-brainer. You have to pay to keep your staff, correct? I mean, like, common sense.
Yeah, exactly. There's a very eerily similar situation that happened
Can I
not
ask
long
him
ago
about
in a
the
lower league.
FIFA World Club Cup?
Yeah, you can ask that in a second, Shane.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm interested. I'm sorry. I dove into it once we.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
I dove into it once the finals quit, and I was like, "Oh man, this is really interesting."
It is. I'll get to it in a minute.
But like, what?
But
Okay, John. But seriously, why? Like, I mean, is there a way that they can maybe vote him out of ownership? Are they able to do that? Because I know they can do it in certain leagues. Are they able to do it in that league?
they can disqualify him. So, like I was saying, there's an eerily similar situation that happened earlier this year with a club called Reading FC. Now, their owner, Dai Young, he was also not paying his players, also not paying his staff. And it was getting to the point where they were forcing him to basically sell the club or they were going to liquidate it.
Ooh, wow.
And that would have been huge, not only just for the club and the fans, but like the community would have suffered economically. So I'm wondering because not only are they going to have a transfer embargo, if this keeps up, they will have points deductions, fines, and this club can't take it. This is a historic club in England. Like their stadium is one of the most historic and iconic stadiums in England. So
Wow.
it held finals competitions. That's
This is
how
definitely
iconic
not
it
a
is.
smart move to do this. I mean, like you could be in danger of really hurting your entire economic growth. Shane wants to ask you about FIFA Club World Cup. Please do, Shane. We want to hear. Go ahead, man.
Absolutely.
Well, my question is really related around like could we see this keep happening? Because listen, I used to live only about an hour and a half outside of Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
and man, I saw so many people going to these games as we saw the crowds throughout the U.S. During these games. Is this something that we could see in the future, maybe expanding, maybe getting bigger? Between the interleague play, as I guess you would call it, being a baseball
Kind of,
fan. So, but do you think it'd be could it be a kind of yearly thing that we're going to see maybe progress to the same level as, hey, maybe we're going to have a FIFA Club Cup every 4 years, but it's going to be right in between the FIFA World Cup.
Right. So FIFA wants this to happen. They really have been pushing this to happen. This is a very unique competition because you don't really normally have clubs from all over the world. Now, in Europe, you have something very similar called the Champions League, which is interleague play. You could call it that, where basically all the champions of Europe and other teams that qualify play in this for it's the biggest trophy in Europe you could possibly have. And other countries have a similar type cup situation as well. You have like the FA Cup in England, the league, the Coupe de France in France, and such. And yeah, I mean, the FIFA wants this to happen. It's going to probably happen every 4 years, just because of logistics, where they probably want it to happen, stuff like that. It's a lot to prepare for. Plus, this kind of cash prize that's being made available is going to have to be replenished, obviously. But they're hoping that this makes up for a lot of it. But with attendance and at some of these games, it's been really poor. American people are not liking it because it's so early in the afternoon and not at night, while FIFA's trying to accommodate like people in Europe. It's a whole mess of a situation, but they definitely want it to happen. It's just a question of if they'll improve how it works going forward.
It's kind of like a trial run. Yeah, logistics trial run. Everything has gone to, we have a good friend, Ben, and his team. Ben actually he volunteered at MetLife Stadium, so he's going to be doing the media portions of that one. My sister took my nephew to Mercedes-Benz, and they had an absolute blast. John, where can everybody find you, sir?
You can find the Pitch Grid on all social media platforms: X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and our YouTube as well. We're also on Spotify and Apple. YouTube is where we have all of our long form content and our shorts. So just go check that out. We cover EFL and NFL stuff. So really excited to do that.
Absolutely. We will definitely talk to you again soon, John. Thank you so much. And keep me updated on this little scandalous situation. Cause I mean, that's some major economic impact that it can go on there if this dude is not get himself together. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this has gone on for years. This is not a new thing. This has gone on for years.
Jeez. Like, dude, come on, get your bleep together and act like an owner should be. John, you take care. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay, buddy?
Sounds good.
All right. All right, guys. So I didn't get a chance to ask this on Tuesday, but I'm going to ask it now. And I'm going to start with Matt. Matt, you got to give us, it has to be both your AFC playoff predictions and your NFC playoff predictions. I want you to start with the NFC first. Okay, Matt?
Oh, man.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's see.
I know it's a lot.
I will. We should be fine. I think I'm gonna go with as far as you said the NFC first, right?
Yeah, the NFC first and then the AFC.
Okay. As far as the NFC's North.
Like, who's your number? So go from like your number 1 all the way to your number 7 seed.
First check with the division winners. So out of the top 4 division winners, I mean, just the way the playoffs are set up, division winners are the top 4 seeds. So number 1, I think will be. I think number 1's going to be the Eagles.
Okay.
Number 1's going to be the Eagles. Number 2's going to be the Lions. Number 3 is going to be the. I think the Niners have a bounce back season. I think number 3 is going to be the Niners, and number 4 is going to be the Falcons. 5.
Right, so what about the wild card then? Who gets the wild card?
Yes,
5, 6, and 7.
So for the wild card positions, I'm looking at Washington.
Okay.
Let's go Washington. Let's go Tampa Bay. Washington, Tampa Bay, and you know what? Let's go Minnesota. Yeah, let's go Minnesota because their defense has been together for a while. Let's go Minnesota.
All right, so let me get your AFC predictions then.
All right, for AFC, I'm gonna go Kansas City. Kansas City's number 1. Buffalo's number 2. Baltimore's number 3. And number 4 is going to be Houston. Number 4 is going to be Houston.
All right, 5, 6, and 7.
5. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. You know what? No, they don't have a quarterback. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. Yes, they do have Aaron Rodgers. I'm tripping. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. 7? And you know what? My 7th is gonna shock a lot of people, but I think my AFC's hard. AFC's hard. Because you have the Chargers, you also have the Dolphins, you also have the Jets are going to surprise a lot of people.
And the Broncos.
You got the Broncos. Woo!
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be man. I'm gonna go with the Chargers there because Jim Harbaugh is gonna make sure he's a good coach. He's gonna make sure they win.
Right.
So that's what I'm
go ahead. So you have there you go, folks. That's Matt's AFC. That is Matt's NFC. All right, Shane. I want to go to you. Tell me your NFC and AFC playoffs. Start with the AFC first, and then go to the NFC.
AFC. I've got it dicey.
Okay.
I like Kansas City to win the AFC West, but Denver will be in contention.
Okay.
Late in the year, and I'm just going to go ahead and get my division winners, but in my close races because I really hadn't. I put it together, but I left my notebook at work, so
you're totally fine. Where's the flag? Here's the flag.
Yeah, but I think them AFC East. Obviously Bills, I see them as kind of top projection. Of course, all sports books do as being the Super Bowl favorite this year. But there's a couple teams like the AFC South. I think Jacksonville wins it. They've got too much young talent on offense. And
you did say that on our episode on Wednesday.
And a solid defensive front. To be able to take that claim from Houston, who really lost a lot up front, And that's kind of where you win and lose championships at is up front. So, and the AFC North, the Bengals, I see them actually winning this. I know it kind of shakes everything up, but
Really?
I think that they have the easier schedule for
So you think they're going to
their.
give Baltimore a run for their money then?
I think they'll win one more game than Baltimore. I think they'll lose one more game than Baltimore in the division, though.
Okay.
But I think that the way that the schedule lines up and the teams that they play outside of conference and even some of the teams that they play in conference don't line up to the weapons that they really have. As I mentioned before, Joe Burrow will be an MVP candidate this year for sure, as long as he stays healthy. So,
All right. So who are your wild card selections then?
Well, I was going to get into the East.
Okay, yeah, get the East.
I got the East, the Bills, the North. Which one am I missing?
You're missing the West. No,
The
you said the
West.
Chiefs, didn't you?
No, yeah, well, the Chiefs. Yeah, I did. So I covered them all.
Yeah. So who
I covered them
seventh,
all up. But
which is your wild card?
So the wild card teams are going to come from the AFC West and the AFC North. It's all going to be a battle. It just depends on if Aaron Rodgers shows up for the Steelers like he did in Green Bay, or if he's going to be like in his brief stint in New York. So that's what I think. But I think that the AFC West has a lot of young talent and stuff that's desired and maybe could push a lot of teams past what the Chiefs have set the standard for in recent years.
So let me ask you this then, since you're talking about the AFC West, could the West have 3 teams in the playoff picture?
Well, that's almost what I'm saying right here. It's either going to be the AFC West or the AFC North. We'll have 3 teams in the playoffs this year.
Oh wow!
I see that just the competitiveness between the division, the way it is and the way it lines up. I could see that because the other 2 divisions aren't that great on the back end.
I like that. All right, so then give me your NFC playoff picture, please.
Okay, NFC playoff picture is pretty wide open as well. The NFC North. I could see the Packers with what they've added and the depth that they have and the young talent that they have being the winner there. Detroit, a close second for sure. The NFC, I see, the Washington. I'm not going to go either way on the nickname or the team name. I'm just going to say Washington. But Washington and the Eagles, they will be in a tough fight for it. It's going to be the same thing, talent over young talent and team atmosphere kind of deal. That's what I see there. NFC South, I know y'all keep saying Tampa Bay, but I'm going to be a biased opinion, I guess you would say, but I think that Carolina has shored up enough on their offensive line side of things to give Bryce Young a chance this year. And I think if they don't contend for the division, they will be in wild card contention. As of right now, I've got Atlanta winning that division for sure. And then the NFC West, this is going to be my dark horse kind of Super Bowl contender, the LA Rams.
Wow.
They added so much during the offseason. They are kind of fit made with Sean McVay kind of being the constructor behind the madness of what happened this offseason. That they seem to be in position to be that one team that this could be almost like an NBA team. You put all these pieces together and now they're contending for a championship kind of deal. So this could be the first time that you see it in the NFL. It might be the last time too, but we hadn't heard it before. But they've put the pieces together, and I think that they make a noise in the West. I don't think Sam Darnold does repeat his success as last year. Being a Carolina fan, I watched it happen too many times to be enthralled by him doing good for 1 year. So, but I see that, and so I think it's going to be the same kind of deal between the AFC and the NFC. It's going to be the North, and the East will have possibly 3 teams in the playoffs, just because of the way the schedules work out and the strength of those conferences.
I like that. I do like that. All right, so mine, I'm going to do the NFC first. I think the number 1 overall seed is actually going to go to the Commanders. I think Washington gets 1. The number 2, I'm actually going to go in the agreements with you, Shane. I think Green Bay is going to get in there. It's going to be either between Green Bay and Atlanta who gets the number 2 or number 3. That's how I see it. Because, Atlanta has that opportunity. They can be one of the best or they can be one of the worst. That's absolutely very true. Now, my West team, that one is a very questionable division right now. I could see the Rams, but I could see the Niners. One of those two is going to grab the number 4 seed. Then you go to the 5th seed. And this is also between Washington and Philadelphia. I can see either one of them actually grabbing the division. If one grabs the division, the other one's going to grab a wild card. That's how I see it.
Who say number 1 seed was? Who say number 1?
I said the Washington would be the number 1. However, if it could go between Philadelphia or Washington.
Let me tell you this: if Washington is the 1 seed, Philadelphia will be the highest winning percentage team to ever get a wild card seed.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be between either them.
That's all I'm going to say.
It's definitely going to be between Washington and Philadelphia. Whoever gets that division seed is going to get the wild card. And either way, both teams are really going to be a difficult challenge in the postseason. Now, the other wild card position, I can see Tampa absolutely, because Tampa, they're year in and year out very consistent. Now, I will say Carolina is going to give Tampa more of a run for its money, but I think Tampa is going to grab a wild card position. I'm going to throw a ring on the hoop right here. I'm going to say Seattle actually has a chance to grab the 7th position in the NFC. So we'll see on that one. Now the AFC, I think the number 1 overall seed is going to be Buffalo. I really do. Buffalo is far too talented. Josh Allen is an elite quarterback. Absolutely. Then I go for the North. This one, it's a tough one, but I still say Baltimore is going to win the division. I will tell you that the Bengals are going to give Baltimore a run for its money. I mean, and then this kind of goes back to the same thing that I said with Washington and Philadelphia. It could go either Baltimore or Cincinnati. Whoever wins the division, the other one is going to get a wild card position, and they're going to be a tough cookie in the playoffs. The South, I'm going to go with our friend Mike Shane, who said until anybody has proven them wrong, Houston's going to win the division again. Although I will say Jacksonville could give them a run for their money, absolutely. And then the West, I'm going to say it is the Chiefs they could get between the 2 and 4 position, absolutely. Now the wild card position, I can see going 1 to Denver, 1 going to either Cincinnati or Baltimore, and then the last one, that one's the one that's a tough one. Then I'll give it to Jacksonville. So that's my NFC and AFC. It's going to be fun regardless of what comes about. So I can't wait for that one. All right. So guys, Matt's going to talk to us real quickly. The Sportz Nutz Fantasy Football is about to commence. Matt, let everybody know kind of what to expect, when to expect, kind of like what really is going to change this year compared to last year's fantasy football sign up.
Well, this year going in, man, I kind of did my research, in the interface. I was kind of playing with, the different sites. You have Yahoo, you have ESPN, you have your, there's so many different interfaces, but I wanted the most user friendly. I got all the apps, went through all the apps, and I think this season we're going to use Yahoo. more user friendly, easier to look at, easier to get players, a lot more engaging. The draft setup is a lot better, a lot easier. So it's going to be a 12-man league, Yahoo 12-man league. We're going to charge. We're still debating on that. It could be anywhere between $5 to $10 just to get in. You know, we're still early in Sportz Nutz years, guys. We're only one and a half, or 2, if I'm not mistaken, Brendan. Right? We're still in diapers. So you know. But
what about dog years?
What about dog years?
But the thing is, we want it to be competitive, and usually you get competitive in money leagues. Money leagues, they make it competitive all from week 1 to the end. And competitive. So we're going to go from that. It's going to be half-point PPR. For those who don't know, that's points per reception. Let's say if your guy gets 6 catches, that's 3 points that he gets, 3 additional points. Right now, I'm debating if we want to do a half-point per rush as well, but we'll see what happens. But again, 12 teams. You know, first come, first serve, man. The league will be up and ready. I will have it up and ready more than likely. I want to say, what's today? Friday. By Tuesday's episode, I'll have it up.
Matt, just a question. How easy would it be to do 2 leagues or 3 leagues if we get enough fan interest?
Well, if we get enough fan, hey, us 3 or us 4, Hank does it too as well. We're all gonna have to be in the league in each league.
Oh yeah. So
we gotta be in each league. So
hey, if y'all want it, we'll do it.
Let us know.
Yeah. If they want to apply, we'll do it, man. I mean,
yeah.
The beauty about money leagues is
just don't think it's going to be one league. If we do money leagues, I mean, if it gets so bad, I'll front you on it.
Yeah. Hey, the beauty about money leagues is they're not hard to fill, guys. Money leagues are not hard to fill at all. You know, a lot of people do them. But I was looking at Yahoo. Yahoo's just a lot easier. They have their a lot of them have their own. It has its own money thing instead of having to go to an outside source to pay. You can do it right then and there in that league, and they'll pay out the money to the winner, and they'll do it themselves. It's not a third party thing. So I'm looking at. We're going to try Yahoo this year. We tried ESPN last year. We're going to try Yahoo this year. Let's see how that works out. But this one's going to be a lot more structured, a lot more organized. I'll make sure we have all the rules up. It's going to be a typical fantasy league, man. A lot of smack talk, a lot of trash talk. But the thing is, with this particular one, you know, I'm going to get a belt made. And the winner is going to have the belt, the Sportz Nutz
Hello,
belt.
CIA. Please make sure you timestamp that with Matt saying he's going to have a belt made.
Yes. He's going to have a belt made, and the winner gets the belt.
He's going to have a belt made, and so even though, you know, the bottom tier guys, like I was this past year, there still might be a consequence.
Oh, there's gonna be some consequences.
But we're gonna be lighthearted and fun about it.
Yes, we are. So I mean, the way I'm seeing it right now. And it's funny that you mentioned having the multiple leagues. Right now, I was thinking about having like A division and a B division, like an A league and a B league. The winner of the B league automatically goes to the A league next year, and the loser, last place of the A league, goes to the B league next year. It's kind of a swap, you know.
So kind of what I was talking about with those super conferences in college football, you know.
Absolutely, it's gonna be fun regardless. We can't wait to know about it. You know, I'm excited. All right, so Shane, real quickly, you have 2 things you need to let everybody know. First off, let everybody know about the when money lines with the Sportz Nutz starts, and then quickly let everybody know about episode 2 of Training Days with the Sportz Nutz, please.
Oh yeah, well, hold on, I've actually got these notes, believe it or not, guys, for the money lines, and let me get to them real quick. But the money lines, it's going to be just kind of a weekly parlay show. You know, everybody loves sports betting and everything nowadays. It's legal in this state now, so I love it as well. but but we're going to kind of preview the top 20 college games that the best money lines are on and stuff like that, kind of parlay style. It's still going to be on since our summer series will be ending. It'll be kind of our Wednesday night kind of fall series. So money lines with the Sportz Nutz will be Wednesday nights at regular time, 7:30. But we'll go through the top 20 NCAA football games, and we're not going to do 1 week 0 because there's not that many games, but we'll do week 1. So the week 1 starts August the 28th. My birthday is August 27th, so we'll be live on my birthday. So hopefully everybody can tune in and watch that and celebrate with me, us starting a new show. And then we're going to morph into this into the NFL, and kind of get the top 5 money line games in the NFL as well. That's going to start in September 4th or 5th. I believe it is. So, we're ready to do that. And, not soon after that, we're going to venture into the other side of Saturdays, kind of highlighting our, kind of lesser known D1, kind of subsidiaries in the HBCUs. And then get into the D2, D3, and the NAIA kind of schools that have football programs that are prominent. So we've got a lot of stuff lined up for you guys, and hopefully we get a lot of interest in it, and we have fun doing it.
And real quickly, what can we expect for episode 2 for training days, please? It's on Wednesday.
Episode 2, it's going to be I believe AFC West with the Baltimore Ravens and I believe the LA Rams. We kind of put those two together, being the Kansas City and the Baltimore rivalry kind of going on. So we've got some great guests lined up, and look forward to seeing everybody there, and hopefully everybody will follow along and watch. And it's been fun just kind of branching out and doing this series. It feels like it's kind of we hit everything quick. Real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of deal.
It's been a good episode, guys. We had a lot of fun tonight. We had a great guest on there. So for our good friend Jared Johnson of your ECHL Rio Rancho, New Mexico franchise, which the name will be announced in the coming months. For our good friend Hank, Matt, what do you tell everybody?
Weekend's coming up, guys. Don't get flagged. Stay in the house. Respect yourself. Don't get flagged in the game of life. Stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. And Shane, what do you tell everybody, sir?
Well, I appreciate everybody being here, and may the good Lord bless you. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace, love, and bacon grease, indeed. As I guys always tell you, peace up, A-Town down, why it's the greatest sports there ever was. You guys have a wonderful weekend. We will see you on Tuesday as we have our MLB.com insider. He actually works for the Major League Baseball. Mr. Thomas will be on there. So tune in, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a lot of fun talking with him. Remember, there will be no episode next Friday because next Friday is July the 4th. You guys have a wonderful evening, wonderful weekend, and enjoy this outro. And good night.